So all in all, for my sim rig, I paid, in used price, I paid, Jesus. What's up guys, Kami here. Hope you're all doing awesome as always, and today I want to talk about my sim rig setup. People always say sim racing is very expensive, and I agree with that. It is very, very expensive, but you can get away with saving lots of money with the used market, which I'm going to try to explain to you in this beautiful video. I should start by saying that I had a super simple G25 at first, and I had my G27, which I kept for a long time. I did the 24 hours of Daytona with it, the first one we did, which went pretty horrible. So my first rig was actually a table, some lumber. But my first actual rig was a foldable rig, just with a seat mounted to it, which was an option, apparently. I got it used for €100. It was shit. It was the shittest rig I've ever had. It was wiggling around. It wasn't secure. It was uncomfortable. The seat sucked. It didn't have a lot of adjustability like an actual aluminium rig. Aluminum, as people like to call it overseas, over the pond. Aluminium. It got the job done. It definitely got the job done, but it was on a very tight budget, and I got away with it. And I did a lot of racing with it. I did a lot of drifting with it, and like I said, I did the 24-hour in it, but it was very uncomfortable. So then I got my VR headset, which was also used. It was a PSVR, which I got for €120 or something. You could actually make the PSVR work as a PC VR headset. It was just a very, very bad VR experience. So after a while, I got rid of my VR headset for this big monitor that you see on the screen right now. It's the Samsung CHG90. If you don't know what monitor this is basically the predecessor to the G9 Odyssey, which is higher resolution and it has higher refresh rate, I believe. So this monitor was very expensive at release, and I couldn't afford it when it came out, or what it was still priced at when I got the monitor initially, because wow, this is very cheap compared to a full price of that monitor. I paid €500 for this monitor. So there I was, huge monitor, perfect for sim racing. I'm gonna be down with a 49-inch and just sitting here. I'm talking about the monitor. So alright, now I have the monitor, and I still have a shit sim rig. So after owning a G27 for a while, which is a great wheel for the price it was at back in the day, before there were lots of brands in the market, I got new pedals meanwhile, just because I wanted a load cell pedal on the brake and just better quality. So I got the Thrustmaster TLCM pedals, which are fantastic. For the price that you pay for them, they are fantastic. I paid €150 used for them, which is a good price. And I got them close to me, which also helped me just drive there, get them, and be done with it. What else I did on these pedals to make the brake pedal feel a bit better was I put rubber spacers in it. So it is actually not spring based, it is actually elastomer based, which is really good. It's giving you a better feel. You can make it heavier as well if you want to. So if I put a video clip in of me pressing my brakes, you can actually see how soft it is in the beginning, but then as soon as I go in, like, let's say 20% of travel, you can see how heavy it is, and that is where the load cell is just key, because it's not a potentiometer going from 0 to 100 by distance, it's going by pressure. But it's a good pedal set. It's a really good pedal set for the price you pay for it, and it's a bang for the buck if you really want to. Obviously there's much better pedals out there, but are you gonna pay €600 for pedals when you can buy these, mod them for €15 and have a great pedal set, which is USB based, 16-bit? I don't know if you can tell, but this video is based on budget. So before I got rid of my G27, I actually bought the TSPC Racer with a round rim. I paid €400 for it, which was fine. It was a good deal back then, and I wanted to go with a better wheelbase compared to my G27, but not pay as much as a Fanatec wheelbase. So Thrustmaster was the way to go, because it was actually quite fairly priced, the quality is alright, and turns out you can change your rim, which is perfect. So now we come to the point where my sim rig is actually way too bad and way too unstable for this current wheel I have and the pedals. So I asked my friend to rebuild the GT1 Evo with his material, which we did. We cut it together. We actually cut it to spec of the GT1 Evo with every part there is. And I ain't gonna lie to you, I paid 80 euros for the material. 80 euros, can you believe it? A full sim rig based on the GT1 Evo, which cost 500 euros or something. For 80 euros, that is great, isn't it? So then I wanted to go DD. So I wanted to go direct drive with every brand having a direct drive wheel right now, and me needing more power and more responsiveness from a wheel. So now I had a very good sim rig. I had my ultra wide, I had a 6Nm wheelbase, I had a good pedal set. Now I wanted to go DD because every brand was bringing out DD. Direct drive is the way to go. It is more responsive, it's much faster. So I bought the Thrustmaster T818 wheelbase. It is DD, it is 10 Nm, it is quite heavy, it's quite small, and it's not that expensive. With my T818 wheelbase, I actually got this with it. This is the SF1000 rim from Thrustmaster, which is the Formula 1 rim they made from the Ferrari cars, SF70 I believe it is, I don't know, I can't remember, don't recall me on that, Ferrari sucks nowadays. This rim is really good, it has a display on it, it has lights on it. There will be a review of it soon, because I have lots of points which I really don't like about this wheel. And again, you won't believe the price that I paid for it, and I still have a screenshot of it somewhere. I paid 750 euros for a new wheelbase of a T818 and this SF1000 rim. That's an insane price, that is literally 750 euros for a DD that costs 699 euros and a wheel that costs 300 euros or even more back then when it released. That is just ridiculous, and you may ask yourself, Cammy, how the fuck are you finding these prices? Hey Cammy. Obviously there is a risk to buying used parts, but if you go around it with common sense, you can actually find great deals. And if you actually write someone and you actually get great answers and you get some backing from them that it's actually a real deal, why not just go for it? Why not just look for used sim rig parts where you can save a lot of money, just like I did? Let's talk about some other parts. So I got this T818 shifter from Thrustmaster used from a friend of mine because he was selling his. So I got it for 100 euros compared to 150 euros the way it used to sell. I got this USB handbrake here as well. I mean, I love yanking it.
Hell no, man. What the fuck?
I paid 50 euros for it on eBay. It is one of the only things that is new on my sim rig. Fun fact. If you have a 3D printer like me, you can actually print a very beautiful sequential shifter, which works, so you can have both, like I do, because I'm a nerd. So for a seat, obviously a seat is very important in a sim rig. So when I got my actual seat after the very uncomfortable seat, it was the Next Level Racing GT Ultimate seat. The quality was good, it wasn't something special or anything, it wasn't like a Sparko seat or anything else. So after a while I thought to myself, I'm gonna need a new seat because the one is too big for me, it doesn't hold me down very well. And I found this, which is the Speed 1 from SimLab. It is very comfortable, I like it a lot. It is a very comfortable seat and I really like it in a sim rig. It's very comfortable and it's really good. I got the seat for around 250 euros as far as I can remember. I can't remember how much I paid for it, but it was a very good price compared to the actual full price of it. As far as my monitor mounting goes, it is mounted to a Trek Unified Single Monitor Mount. I just had to read it out because the name is so weird compared to all the other ones. And this is the open wheel add-on from Thrustmaster, which works on Thrustmaster bases. Makes sense, doesn't it? It's some type of Alcantara and it's already worn off and it is still a really great rim for what it is. I use it for GT3 and GT4 cars. And that's about it, I think. That's about it for my sim rig. So now we come to the mathematics, which I am very bad at. So you will have to wait for it a bit. And I'll see you after calculating stuff.
Few inches later.
So I counted everything together that I currently have on my sim rig. My top monitor, which is not needed for the sim rig at all, is not counted towards. All the equipment that I use for streaming, which is the cameras, the lights, this microphone, the microphone arm, are not counted towards my sim rig cost. So all in all, for my sim rig, I paid, in used price, I paid, Jesus, 2,080 euros. This is quite a bit of money, actually. It's what I paid in my stuff if I were to buy all those things at the new price, which I had to go through and look about for. You would pay 3,746 euros for my whole sim rig. I saved a whole 1,660 euros for my sim rig by just buying used stuff. Isn't that insane? Isn't that ridiculous that you can buy a sim rig and save so much money just by buying used? Obviously, sim racing is expensive if you think about the grand scheme of things about the entry cost into this type of hobby. So Cammy, would you suggest buying used parts for a sim rig if you wanted to get into sim racing? If you can't go for the used market, have a look at the used market, look what you can find, see what you can do, ask friends if they have material to build a sim rig, out of wood for example, or out of 80/20. Just go to the junkyard, buy a seed. So going back to the question of if it's actually worth it to buy used parts for your sim rig, I would say yes. I'm the prime example for this. By the way, this doesn't include pricing of buying games. I made this video with the thought that you already have a gaming PC. This does not include the iRacing sub price or buying content or whatever, because if I were to get into this, I would have lots of money down my drain. But yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you liked this video. Make sure to also... pointing at my dick again. Make sure to subscribe, because then you're up to date with videos coming out in the future, or my live streams, which are very special, obviously. See you in my next video. Thank you for watching. I appreciate y'all. Goodbye.